who were affected this last weekend by the tragedies in our community. We ask that you give our community rest from these type of activities, and not only our community, but communities nationwide. We ask you to give us the ability to do this job in a fair and just manner. These and all the blessings we ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. The clerk will please call the roll.
Ms. Green?
Here.
Mr. Protogiru?
Here.
Mr. Riddick?
Here.
Mr. Smigel?
Here.
Ms. Williams? Mr. Wynn?
Here.
Mr. Frame?
Here, the motion is to excuse Dr. Whibley, please.
Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigel?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. The motion is to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigel?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Norfolk City Council chambers. We're glad to have you here on a sort of wet, cold night. For the benefit of those of you who do not regularly attend our council sessions, after we handle like 3 ceremonial matters, we will move directly to something called an invitation to bid, which is about a parking lease. Then we will move to that portion of the docket that has public hearings, and we have a number of them there. There are 9 of them. Then after we finish the public hearings, we'll move right into the regular agenda. And we have 4 of those matters there. And we will vote on these matters in just the way that they are numbered on the printed docket. If any member of the public would like to address the council on a non-agenda item, that's something that's not on the formal or printed docket, you'll be given that opportunity. But in order to have your name called, you must first have signed a slip of paper in which the clerk has made available in the lobby behind the council chambers before the meeting began. So, before we get to the formal agenda, we have 3 really important ceremonial matters, and the first one that I want to call out is Girl Scout Week. And is Caitlin Smith here? Caitlin, come on up. Will you please come up? If you have some people with you, some of the Girl Scouts, that's even better. Great. Great, thank you. Thank you all for coming down. Oh, by the way. Uh-oh. 3 cookies. Okay, you win.
It's free, man.
You win, okay.
In fact, they come to me and they're like,
Okay. Well, let me read the proclamation, okay? And then we'd be glad to hear from you.
Or can we?
No. The proclamation reads, whereas on March the 12th, 1912, the Girl Scouts of the USA was founded by Juliette Gordon Low in Savannah, Georgia. Whereas since its inception, Girl Scouting has inspired millions of girls and women with the highest ideals of character, conduct, and patriotism. Whereas throughout its long and distinguished history, the organization has promoted personal courage and confidence in character, enabling members to positively impact their local communities and make the world a better place. And whereas the more than 3.2 million current members, of which 22,000 are Girl Scout Council of Colonial Coast members, along with nearly 60 million former Girl Scouts nationwide, represent living proof of this amazing movement. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Paul D. Frame, Mayor of the City of Norfolk, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of March the 9th through the 15th, 2014, as Girl Scout Week in the City of Norfolk, and call upon citizens to recognize the positive influence that Girl Scouting has on American girls and women, and commend the work of the Girl Scouts of the Colonial Coast Council for their support in the leadership development of members throughout our local community, given under my hand this 25th day of March 2014. So, Caitlin, can I give this to you?
Yeah.
Okay. You have the camera, which is important too. Thank you. Would you like to say something or?
One of our girls has something.
Sure. We'd be glad to hear from you.
Okay. My name is Megan Sass, and I am a Girl Scout senior at Maury High School. I would like to thank everyone for their support of this year's Girl Scout cookie program. This year, Girl Scouts of the Colonial Coast sold nearly 1.6 million boxes of Girl Scout cookies. But Girl Scouting is about a lot more than cookies. It's about a lot more than crafts and camping, too. Girl Scouts is an organization that builds girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. Girl Scouts allows for the expansion of one's cultural awareness by opportunities of travel, ranging from a weekend trip to DC to a 2-week expedition across Europe. It also provides opportunities that aid girls in becoming better leaders, leaders that can move and shape a new world for girls to inhabit that has fewer of the problems that we face today. Girl Scouts has made me and other members into the people we are today, so thank you for supporting the growth of an organization that benefits girls everywhere.
Great. Those were terrific words. Okay. Well, that concludes the ceremonial bit. Or do you? You have cookies? I mean, you can hand them out. Thank you very much. Thanks. That was really sweet of you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All these, right? There you go.
Did you get your 10 minutes?
No, I got the crunchy oatmeal sandwich.
Wait. We need a box. Somebody get right there, Mr. Look at this.
They shut me out.
That was great. Great. Okay, well, again, thank you for coming down here. And thank you for the cookies as well. So,
See, these are,
right. Okay, now we have another proclamation on account of it is the MacArthur Memorial's 50th anniversary. And accepting is Executive Director Chris Kolakowski. Chris, why don't you take a position there, and I'll behind the podium, and I'll try to read this proclamation. We're very proud of this, by the way, 50 years of the MacArthur
Thank you very much.
Memorial here in the city.
Thank you very much.
It reads, whereas General Douglas MacArthur served his country honorably and with great distinction during the First and Second World Wars and the Korean War, earning 2 Distinguished Service Crosses, the Distinguished Service Medal, 7 Silver Stars, 2 Purple Hearts, and the Congressional Medal of Honor. Between the World Wars, he served as Superintendent of the United States Military Academy at West Point and is considered the father of the modern West Point. Whereas, while serving in the Pacific Theater during World War II, General MacArthur devised the successful strategy of island hopping that bypassed Japanese strong points to attack weaker points, and shortly after retaking the Philippines on October the 20th, 1944, he became one of only 5 men elevated to the 5-star rank of General of the Army. Whereas after accepting the Japanese surrender, General MacArthur oversaw the rebuilding and democratization of Japan, and in 1950 was appointed commander of United Nations forces during the Korean War, later returning home to a hero's welcome. Whereas because his mother, Mary Pinky Hardy, was born and raised in the Berkeley section of Norfolk, the general considered our city his home, and prior to his death deeded his records, medals, prizes, personal papers, and documents to the city of Norfolk, in return for which the city transformed its 1850 City Hall into a museum dedicated to the general's life. Whereas on January the 26th, 1964, the MacArthur Memorial, an international landmark dedicated to preserving and telling the story of the general's life, opened to the public and is where he was laid to rest with full honors just months later on April the 11th, 1964. Now therefore, I, Paul Frey, Mayor of the City of Norfolk, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2014 as MacArthur Memorial's 50th anniversary, and encourage all citizens to recognize the many years of service General Douglas MacArthur gave to our country, and to visit his memorial during his 50th anniversary celebration, given under my hand this 25th day of March 2014, and I've signed it as the mayor. So, Chris, would you accept this on behalf of the MacArthur Memorial? With pleasure. And we appreciate you coming down here. We'd love to hear from you, by the way. And you brought a couple of your staff members here too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for this. Thank you for your comments. We actually have some goodies as well. I brought Charlie Knight, my curator, and my education manager, Amanda Williams. We've got you all, the council, and the city manager, and the city attorney, and the city clerk will all get the first, hot off the presses, 50th anniversary logo baseball caps.
Great.
This is, the 50th anniversary is April 11th and 12th, specifically, and the month of April being the 50th anniversary of MacArthur's death and interment in Norfolk. But we've got a lot of things going on throughout the year, and we're real excited about it. And we're real excited about introducing this to the next generation. So, and we appreciate your support.
Sure.
This is a Norfolk treasure, and we look forward to seeing you all out and seeing the rest of the community out too.
And I know you've got a whole set of celebrations that will be occurring over at the memorial as well?
We do. 11th and 12th, we've
Those.
got everything from a formal wreath laying to some family-friendly programs. Later in the year, as part of our 50th anniversary year, we're hosting a few other things. We're hosting the city's Flag Day event, Veterans Day. We've also are hosting a major conference in November, celebrating and marking this beginning of the centennial of the First World War, which actually is going to be the largest World War I themed conference in the country. We've got a lot of things going on. We're pushing together a new website that's going to come out this summer also, and some additions to the exhibits and things like that. So it's it's a real dynamic place, and there's a lot going on, and want to keep it fresh and want to keep the community engaged.
Great. Again, thank you for coming down.
Thank you very
Nice
much.
seeing you all again. Thank you. Sign of my age is I remember when Amanda was playing soccer in grade school. That's all. Wow. Okay, now the next proclamation is Trish. Where are you? Trish Carrier, who is here for the International Month proclamation. And Trish, as everyone knows, is the NATO Fest Executive Director. And would you like to bring some folks to the podium
Yes, please.
with you? Okay.
They'd like
have
a photo op too.
Do they
have
have
gifts?
gifts, things to eat, anything like that?
Left the hat.
No hats? Okay.
I'll catch up with you later.
Okay. Proclamation reads, whereas the city of Norfolk has celebrated its worldwide importance of being home to an international port, the largest naval base in the United States, and the headquarters, Supreme Allied Commander Transformation, whereas to exemplify the international influence of NATO and its member nations, bring to Norfolk. In 1953, the city established the International Azalea Festival, now called the Norfolk NATO Fest, which includes the NATO flag-raising ceremony, Parade of Nations, NATO Fest, and the Virginia International Tattoo, whereas to broaden the awareness of foreign policy and global diplomacy to the citizens of Hampton Roads, in 1969, the World Affairs Council of Greater Hampton Roads was established, whereas the city of Norfolk established the Norfolk Sister City Association in 1976 to foster a global diplomacy network of international understanding, friendship, and cooperation to promote people-to-people exchanges, and continues to celebrate year-round activities. Whereas the Norfolk Public Library, in celebration of April's National Library Week, educates the public on the importance of our city's cultivation of strong international relationships. Now, therefore, I, Paul D. Frame, Mayor of the City of Norfolk, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim April as International Month in the City of Norfolk and call upon all citizens to recognize and understand Norfolk's international diversity and promote awareness of the city's impact across the globe. Given under my hand this 25th day of March, 2014. And Trish, here you go. Okay, you have quite a group here with you, by the way. Sure. Janice, sorry.
Thank you, Mayor Frame, City Council members, ladies and gentlemen. As the Executive Director of the Norfolk NATO Festival, I'm excited and honored to share recognition with other organizations named in this proclamation. I would like to recognize those organizations here with us tonight. With us from the Virginia Arts Festival and the Virginia International Tattoo, we have Rob Cross, Executive Director. Rob?
Right.
Right here. Cynthia Carter West, Director of Public Relations. From Norfolk Sister City Association, we have Janice Weisberg, immediate past president and Passport to Norfolk Sister Cities event coordinator, and Ashley McLeod, executive director. Also, World Affairs Council of Greater Hampton Roads is represented by President Al Ablowich. We also have Sarah Jordan with us here tonight. She is the operations manager and executive assistant of Norfolk Public Libraries. I'd also like to extend my thanks to Ashley McLeod, Bob Batcher, and Alan Bull for assisting me with this proclamation and getting it rolling. My hope is that April is recognized annually as International Month in Norfolk. All 5 organizations appreciate the global impact Norfolk, Virginia has on the world. We celebrate the international relationships created here in Norfolk and the cultural exchanges taking place here in Norfolk through our events and programs. As our organizations continue to celebrate and recognize the importance of international cultural exchange, we hope other organizations join us in the years to come, because Norfolk is truly an international city. Thank you.
Thank you all for taking time to come down here and being with us, bringing this to our attention once again. And thanks for the work you do in the community as well. We're very proud of that, so thank you. Thanks, Trish. Okay. It's okay, sure, take your time. Go ahead. You want a photo? Yeah.
The Girl Scouts want to get a picture up here with us too? Then-
Okay.
You're-
Before the Girl Scouts run away, you want a picture? I mean, you brought cookies. Okay, go ahead.
I'll take all,
Go ahead, Angela.
anyone who wants in, get in.
on this
All
other
right,
side.
there's Angela. That's my girl. All right. Where'd she go? Ready? One. Everybody look at me. 1, 2, 3. Great.
Got it, Ash. Thank you. Okay. Sure. Hi, girls. How are you?
Alan, you want to get a picture with us? No?
Okay. Got it. I got some moms here too. Okay, thank you all, girls. Thank you.
Oh, what a night.
All right, Mr. Clerk, the first item on the agenda, please.
The first item is receipt of bids for a long-term garage parking agreement with a term of 10 years for 40 residential parking spaces in the Bush Street Garage and 95 residential parking spaces in the Town Point Garage.
All right, so how many bids have been received?
One,
Please read the bid and mark it for identification.
the bid is Seaboard Building LLC, which has submitted a bid that I've marked for identification as Seaboard Bid 32514.
Are there any additional bids offered? If there are no additional bids, I declare the bidding closed. Is there any member of the public who wishes to be heard on this matter? Okay, if there's no member of the public who wishes to be heard, I declare the public hearing closed. Is there a recommendation from city staff regarding the bid received from on behalf of the Seaboard Building LLC?
Yes, city staff recommends that the bid by Seaboard Building LLC be accepted and the parking agreement awarded to Seaboard Building LLC.
Okay, is there any discussion? All right, if there's no discussion, I will ask the city clerk to read the proposed ordinance.
An ordinance accepting the bid submitted by Seaboard Building LLC for a long-term garage parking agreement with a term of 10 years for 40 residential parking spaces in the Bush Street Garage and for 95 residential parking spaces in the Town Point Garage, subject to certain terms and conditions. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Was Mr. Henn here? Rick here? Oh, just, okay. All right, Rick, it's done, so, all right. Public hearing 1, please.
Public hearing 1, scheduled for this day on the application of Keith W. Romer for a change of zoning from conditional I-1 limited industrial and R8 single-family districts to conditional I-1 district on property located at 3404 and 3406 Westminster Avenue, and by 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
All right, and Mr. Keith Romer is here to answer any questions we may have. All right, you can call the roll, please.
I
Okay.
have an ordinance to rezone properties located at 3404 and 3406 Westminster Avenue from conditional I-1 and R8 to conditional I-1. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Where is this on Westminster? Is it closer to the bridge, or where is it?
I think it's down. I think it is.
Is this closer to the bridge that's been closed? Where is it?
George?
I think it is.
Mr. Riddick, it's down in the industrial area, toward the end of the street,
Okay.
if that helps you.
Is that one little lone house that's down there?
Yeah,
Okay. It's one little lone residential dwelling down there and a bunch of commercial stuff.
industrial stuff, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Paul.
Okay, okay.
All right, call the roll, please.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, public hearing 2.
Public hearing scheduled for this day on the application of David Colby for a change of zoning from conditional Ocean View residential to conditional R12 multifamily on property located at 3401 East Ocean View Avenue. And by 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
No members of the public signed up to address the council on this matter, so you can call the roll,
I
please.
have an ordinance to rezone property located at 3401 East Ocean View Avenue from conditional OVR to conditional R12. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 3.
Public hearing 3 scheduled for this day on the application of Calvary Baptist Church for a change of zoning from R8 Single Family to IN1 Institutional on property located at 3301 Thomas Street. By a 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Okay, Mr. Richard Smith is here to answer questions if anyone has any. You can call the roll.
I have an ordinance to rezone property located at 3301 Thomas Street from R8 to IN1. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 4.
Public hearing 4 is scheduled for this day on the application of the City Planning Commission on behalf of Adams Outdoor Advertising to amend Chapter 16 signs of the zoning ordinance in order to modify existing regulations pertaining to outdoor advertising signs, including conversion of signs to digital format. By a 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
And Jim Balestino is here to answer questions if you have any, as is Gene Mum. Okay, call the roll, please.
I have an ordinance to amend Sections 16-3 and 16-6.15 of the zoning ordinance of the City of Norfolk 1992 so as to modify requirements for billboards. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
I'm just going to repeat what I said at the work session last week, that I hope that this eventually will lead to looking at replacing some more of the older billboards with some more modern ones. I know right now this is the first step, but I hope it gives an opportunity for us to be able to expand that to other parts of the city to clean up the way that some of these look. And I think they're clean, brings more revenue in for the city, and I think that some of the communities will end up supporting that if we can get that expanded. Aye.
Ms. Williams,
Ditto what Tommy said. Aye.
Mr. Wynn,
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. Where are we? Public hearing 5?
Yes, sir.
Public hearing 5 scheduled for this day on the application of the City Planning Commission to repeal Chapter 15, off-street parking and loading of the zoning ordinance and adopt a new parking chapter, and to amend Chapters 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, 13, and 25 in order to update the parking standards for automobiles and bicycles citywide. By 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Call the roll, please.
I have an ordinance to amend and reordain all of Chapter 15 and portions of Sections 4.0, or 4-0, 10-15.5, and 25-10 of the zoning ordinance of the City of Norfolk 1992 in order to revise the regulations for required parking. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 6.
Public hearing 6 scheduled for this day on the application of the City Planning Commission to amend Section 16-8.7, signs permitted in the special purpose districts of the zoning ordinance to modify the regulations for institutional and institutional campus. And by 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Call the roll.
I have an ordinance to amend Section 16-8.7 of the zoning ordinance of the City of Norfolk 1992 in order to increase the availability for signage in the IN1 and IN2 zoning districts. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 7.
Public hearing 7 scheduled for this day on the application of the City Planning Commission to amend the city's general plan to establish locational criteria and performance standards for automobile-related establishments, including the East Little Creek Road and Military Highway corridors. By 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Good.
And I have an ordinance to amend the general plan of Norfolk so as to promote locational criteria and operational standards for automobile-related establishments. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 8.
Public hearing 8 scheduled for this day on the application of the City Planning Commission to amend Section 2-3 of the zoning ordinance to change the name of the Urban Character District to the Traditional Character District and to establish boundaries of the downtown traditional and suburban character districts. By 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Great.
I have 2 ordinances on this. The first is an ordinance to amend Section 2-3 of the zoning ordinance of the City of Norfolk in order to change the name of the Urban Character District to the Traditional Character District. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye.
The second is an ordinance to establish the boundaries of character districts for purposes of applying provisions of the zoning ordinance of the City of Norfolk 1992. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 9, please.
Public hearing 9, scheduled for this day to hear comments approving a land disposition and development contract with Howard Construction Corporation for 6 parcels of real property containing .84 acres, more or less, located on Church Street between Washington Avenue and Johnson Avenue.
Alton Robinson.
Good evening, Mayor Frame. My name is Alton Robinson. My address is 735 West 35th Street. I'm here because I just had some concerns about this. I'm not an opponent of this particular project, just like I was not an opponent of the $40 million Ocean View project that will bring in 250 units along with 20,000 square feet of retail space. This project here, which is 13 units and 7,400 square feet of space, it's kind of small, but considering the community that it's in, I don't expect it to be huge. But I still see where this city is giving $853,000, but it says up to $853,000. So I was wondering, is there a particular number, or is $853,000 the actual number that they will be receiving from the city? Not to mention that there are 6 parcels of land that will be given to this developer. And when I look at the numbers, I know the developer is going to bring $1.2 million to the table. But when I look at the $853,000, and I tried to find the assessed values for the land, but for some reason when I put in those addresses, it didn't come up this week, but it came up last week. But anyway, with that, this developer will bring in about $1 million to the table, 1.2 million, but he's also receiving $1 million from the city. It's as if the city is like, if you have $1 million, bring your $1 million and we'll match it. Like last week, they was bringing $3 million and got close to $5 million. But when it comes to our seniors, when it comes to our schools, when it comes to certain things in the community, the city would say, we don't have money. And I'm just curious, not understanding, how can we continue to give these developers all this money, and yet when it comes to our schools, and when it comes to our seniors looking for tax relief, when it comes to safety in our communities, there's no money. We can't put enough policemen on our streets to even be there if someone was to happen to be getting shot or murdered. We have quite a few murders in our city this week. We had quite a few shootings, and nothing is being addressed. But yet we are continually giving these developers plenty of money, and the developers are not reaching out to the people within the communities, and I'm talking subcontractors. I do thank the city, because I did read where y'all entered a clause where they ought to do some type of due diligence towards making sure that they give Norfolk residents some work. But that's a lot of money to be given away each week, $1 million here, $5 million there, to be a city that don't have money for the taxpayers. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Robinson. All right, that's the only person who signed up to speak. All right, you can call the roll, please.
I have an ordinance approving a land disposition and development contract with Howard Construction Corporation for 6 parcels of real property containing .84 acres, more or less, located on Church Street between Washington Avenue and Johnson Avenue. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
I abstain. My company has done work for Howard Construction in the past.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, and let me, and Mr. Robinson knows that his 3 minutes are to make comments and not to answer questions, and not everybody who asks a question gets an answer at that moment. But the money is to provide infrastructure. The city's typically, when it sells property, provides a good site. And the up-to clause, to the extent that the developer provides the city with bills for putting in infrastructure, then he will be reimbursed for that. That's what the up-to means. And there are some closing costs and things like that associated with it as well. Okay. Are R1, please.
R1 is an ordinance permitting Metro Machine Corporation trading as General Dynamic, Nasco, Norfolk to encroach into the 200 block of Ligon Street right-of-way with 5 existing concrete traffic barriers. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Okay, I vote aye, and I think all of you are aware that the shipbuilding business is really on a high keel over in Berkeley, but it's also creating some parking problems over there that I think the manager, you say, you're going to address, but I vote aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R2,
An ordinance authorizing the acquisition of a perpetual right-of-way easement and a temporary construction easement for Midtown Development Corporation over certain property located at 104 East Little Creek Road. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance. Adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru? Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
aye. Where are we, R3?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
An ordinance granting permission to DLC LLC trading as the Max to encroach into the right-of-way of Colley Avenue at 1421 Colley Avenue with an area measuring 9 feet by 43 feet by 8 inches directly in front of the Max Restaurant for the purpose of providing facilities for outdoor dining. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Ms. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R4, please.
A resolution to adopt the Emergency Operations Plan as revised.
Second, Ellis James.
Love his shirt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the
Walking bill.
council. My name is Ellis W. James. I'm a lifelong resident of the wonderful city of Norfolk.
Could you turn around, maybe?
No, I think they're making sure that the camera angle is from the back, so we don't see the front of the shirt.
Hey, that's giving me,
There it is.
There it is.
There you go.
that's giving me about $500 worth of advertising. Thanks,
Yeah,
Ellis.
you gotta give me.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, for 2 reasons, I wanted to speak in support of this. Number one, the city of Norfolk, because we're number 1 and number 2 on the hit parade as far as sea level rise and those flooding problems that we're struggling with. It was referenced in the informal session, and I thought it was important. Spartan Village is a good example of why we need to be prepared. And I hope that, I spoke to Jim. I think he's been doing a very good job in this arena, and I have gone to some of the town hall meetings. It's the kind of situation where we need to be prepared on a lot of fronts. And it looks to me, in terms of the Emergency Operations and Resilience Framework, and the presentation that was made in the informal session, that we have a very comprehensive framework, and I'd like to speak in support of it for several reasons. I am a member, I'm actually a chairman of the Municipal Sustainability Committee on the NEC, and I'm a proud member of the Sierra Club. And there are a number of reasons to speak in favor of the city really getting after the comprehensive aspect of this. And I'm glad to see that we're within the required time of 4 years by law. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, call the roll, please.
Adopt the resolution. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams? Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay. That concludes the formal portion of tonight's agenda. Thank you.